Hi everyone! So, after I posted the original tutorial for Clumsy Loopover, I was talking to someone in the Discord who showed me an alternative method for doing the first part of this puzzle that I think might be a bit faster much of the time. So, shoutouts to RapJS for helping me out with this one. So I figured I would just put up a second part of the video here to show off this method that they taught me. So the first part is pretty much the same. I'm going to get the W, X, Y, Z alone in this lower right corner, in the spot where they're supposed to be. But now we're going to stop with the bottom row. So now we'll work on the things just above the W, X, Y, and Z. And so specifically, the T goes above the Z, so we put that in the second column. Then, oops, click the right thing. Then we slide that down into the row where it wants to be, and then we just move that one spot to the right. And then we can slide the S up, move that one spot to the right, then we put the R in the second column, slide it next to the S, move that all to the right, and then I need the Q in the second column, put that next to the R, and then everything is great. And then we just repeat this over and over again. Put the N where it needs to go, then the M, then the L, and then the K. And there we go. And so we're just going to do the 4 right-hand tiles in each of the rows, working from the bottom to the top. So just to do the last one here, we put the H in place, then the G, then we get the F, and then the E. And so now we've very quickly gotten the bottom 4x4 square of our puzzle done. So now we need to work on the sort of 2 columns on the left and the 2 rows on the right to sort of get that all into place. So I'm going to start with the U and the V down here, that I need to slide those into place. And so the way I'm going to do that is put the U right there. And then we just slide the V down next to it, and there we go. You also could have put the V right here above the E and then slid the U into place right next to it, something along those lines. That's all fine. Oh, now, extremely conveniently, the next 2 things that I want are the O and the P, which are perfectly in place to slot into where they need to be. That was extremely serendipitous. Now, let me do something a bit more reasonable. So now I need the I and the J next, right? The I and the J are the next 2. So let me just show off the way I would normally do this when things don't work out so perfectly. So I want to put the J into the second row, and then we put the I just above the P. And then the I and the J line up and they slide into place. That's pretty much the same thing I did with the U and the V, just from right to left instead of left to right, but that's how it normally works, that you want to line those up. And now we need to do a similar thing to get the things in the upper right-hand corner done. So I need to put the B above the H and then the 5 above the B. So, conveniently, the 5 is already in the second row, so that's good. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put the 5 right above the J. And now I want the B also in the second row, so it can slide left and right and land right above the 5, because that's where it's supposed to be. Whoops, no, I have these backwards. Hold on. I want the B in the second row. There we go. To put the B, because it's supposed to be on the bottom. And now, since the 5 is in the right spot, I can just slide the B into place right above it. And there we are. The B and the 5 are now where they're supposed to be. So now we want to do a similar thing of I want the A to be in the spot just above the J. And then I want to put the 4 right above it like this. The problem is the 5 and the B, are far apart. So sure, I can put the A and the 4 together up here, but they need to be actually right next to the 5 and the B. So this is where these sorts of moves that we talked about in the last video are going to come in handy, right? I need the 4 to sort of move to the right relative to everything else. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see, how do I do this? I move this. This left. No, let's do it like this. I move this left, move this down, and then move these over, and then our 4 is in the right spot, right? The 4 is next to the B, right where it's supposed to be, right? At least vertically it's in the right spot. And then we can do the same thing, put the A back where it wanted to go, slide that up. And then there is the 4, 5, A, B are now in the spots where they're supposed to be. And so now we want to do a similar thing with the 3 and the 9. And this is actually working out really nicely for this one, because I can just put the 9, oh no, not quite as nicely as I want, because I need the 9 to be one space over, right? So let's do this. So I slide the 2 columns left, go up 1, then these back right, and then back down 1. So I think, without even thinking about it, I think I just did, what was that, move 3 or something, which slid the 9 over to the right. So if you explicitly want to think about, oh, I'm doing move number 3 down here in my paint picture to move the 9 over to the right, that's perfectly fine. Or if you just want to sort of think your way through that, you can do that. But now I'm in good shape because my 3 will help line me up perfectly with the 9. And now we're in the spot that it took us quite a while to get to in the last video, where the right-hand 3 columns, the bottom 3 rows are all done, and now we just have to fix this upper left 3 by 3 corner. So maybe that's a slightly better way, or at least a slightly different way of organizing the first part of this puzzle, and thinking about what to do to get everything in place. And again, sometimes, when you're doing this 9 and 3 thing, sometimes the 3 gets caught in a weird spot, like it's right here in B2, and it's really hard to move it into place. So sometimes that's where you need to use some of these fiddly little moves to slide things around exactly to where they're supposed to be. But I think maybe doing this 4x4 grid to start with, and then filling in the left part and the top part is maybe a slightly faster way to get to this point in solving the puzzle. But again, either method works perfectly fine, so whichever you are more comfortable with, feel free. Thanks again for watching.